You know, there's an important detail that I haven't mentioned so far about this game. Or about the proposition of a sequel. The big problem with the sequel to this game is that the big, massive reveal... I hate it! And also, the big reveal of this game is kind of... I don't know, it feels like the biggest trump card has already been played. You know what would have been better? Like, if you make a game with the idea of, I'm at some point gonna make a sequel, don't... just omit certain details. Don't fully explain how the portal works. Leave it up to Gambit if you're actually going back in time in the same time loop, or if they exist side by side, you know? Because I really do feel that this game would have been a bit more suited for... I don't know. It just feels like it tries to explain too much about itself. And there's also such a thing as, at some point, people... they want you to pull up your pants, you know? I got a Christmas hamper today. It's not much I care about, but hey! Free stuff. I got crackers and all-natural lemonade. Ooh. The thing that gets me is this kind of bite would be traumatizing. Like, how is Reza able to hold it all together at this point? The hell is this? Ugh. Yuck. Man, the fact that his body is convulsing. The fact that his jaw is dislodged is the weird part. Like, wouldn't you make a weapon that it wouldn't immediately dislodge upon death? Like, the jaw simply go into a dead man's trap? That'd be much more interesting. Because that would make the situation very awkward for everyone. That's great. Reza's got a good point, though. At this point, everything's kind of... Huh. Moving on. Wait. Why are there so many music changes in this one? So which one is this? This is just Reza Bitten, right? Oh, this is just Risbitten. Yeah, like I said, that kind of wound, you don't just push that one off. We got Izumi dead 4, I think. Ooh, she's all dead. And then we got Maverick dead 4. Yeah, the angles in this hallway are a bit funky. But, you know, there are limitations to what you can do. Also, I'll say one thing about the artist, is the artists have been a bit old. There's been places. But can I just say that at no point have I been like, man, the angle, this is weird. The perspectives, if anything, I've never found, like, distracting, which is impressive. Considering that drawing on an actual 3D perspective, it's like sitting in a room and everyone's looking at your hand as you're trying to cheat. Because that's what artists are. They're cheaters. They're cheaters. They cheat. They try to sell you something that isn't real. So when there's something that's real enough, then your brain's all like, whoops. Man, this ending's more dramatic than I thought it would be. What? Oh yeah, because I like how Remy is just in the fucking room at this point. Everyone is shot and Remy's just kind of just sitting there. Izumi's dead, Maverick's dead, Reza just got fucking owned. And Remy's just kind of hanging out. There he is. Wait, what is Remy's condition? Because there's no art. I don't think there's any art whatsoever of Remy being wounded. Yeah. Which is super weird when you think about it. Remy's like the one character that doesn't seem to have any wounded art. Let's see, Bryce also doesn't have any wounded art, but I guess he's a cop. Anna's got one. Adine's got one. Lorm doesn't have one because he's a fucking bitch and just got thrown across the room. But it's kind of weird that Remy wouldn't have any, considering that he just got shot. Oh, I don't know why they shifted this. It's kind of weird. I gotta say one thing though, the endings that are shit are shit. Like, it's like, you fucked up! Everyone gets crunked! It's great! So, in English, this has to be all this weird stuff. Yeah. And here I can just say the administrator both lie in the pool of their blood, and neither of them moved. And it sounds a bit better. I'm pretty sure her character's paralyzed. So this is the... What? Like, the administrator is dead. It's literally the art, but now Reza's just... I like how you don't know what Reza told him twice. Wow, the bad ending sure is one hell of a fucking shitfest. What happened to Izumi, though? Did she just go back in time? Also, it's kind of impressive that it's implied that Reza has disconnected the generator, but somehow this portal is able to receive and send quite easily. I like the implication that Reza at least didn't, like, completely sell you out until later. Like, he probably waited until you were stable. Oh, yeah, I forgot about this. It's impressive that Remy's been looking this long when you think about it. Wow, hey, Anna's bad ending is showing up. It's kind of weird that Reza's even there then. Why is Reza alive and the person looking for you? Oh, because he's probably in custody. That's what happened. Is once... it's probably in here. But odds are that once Reza, like, spilled all the fucking beans on the situation, they took him into custody once... here again, the teleportation got taken out. I really don't feel like this today. I'm sorry about that. Why is this here? Oh, let me guess. He copy-pasted it and then was like, I don't want to keep this in. This looks weird. Oh, that's why I know this song, because it's the... Again, the fact that this ending is just... This ending is like a fucking weird-ass knife trick. Like, you don't know what the hell is going on. Also, what a giant ending compared to Anna's! Anna's ending is, oops, I'm dead. Goodbye! And here there's like this huge diplomatic crisis. Where the dragons just kind of let it happen, I guess? Also, again, the portal is implied to be a distance away from humanity, yet somehow humanity is able to mobilize all this in a short amount of time and actually form a figurehead. Like, the dragons could easily hold the portal. It's a fucking bottleneck. They could disconnect it. It's implied that there is a cost for the portal to be on. They could just shut the portal down! I guess the soldiers were there enough to hold their ground, but that seems like a lost cause because, you know... The place is already... it's a mess. It's the kind of situation you have to handwave because trying to explain it, it's going to come out stupid. I'll give him that much. Explaining this would have been a mess. It just works. And that's all that matters. Sometimes you gotta let things happen even if they don't make sense. God, what a klutz. You know, with how this works out, like, Remy feels like the last character to be involved in any ending whatsoever. Like, say what you want, but Lorm is the kind of guy who would at least try. I mean, he gets his ass kicked, but he tried. And Remy just got shot. That's all that happened. He's saved by a fucking baby! Ah! Also, you don't bleed that long. That's probably what was wrong with Reza. Reza just suffered from, like, I imagine that he suffered from shock. I don't think Reza actually lived, because that kind of bite wound gets infected real fast. He's probably fucked up to all hell. A bullet wound sterilizes itself for the most part. You're not in a bad shape with a bullet wound, all things considered. Compared to a giant bite. Like, odds are Reza is in terrible shape, if not dead, in his prison cell. Then again, this is one of those everything gets just blown up ending. This is a shit ending. I hope you like garbage, because it's all you're gonna get served today. With Anna, it's all like, I'm gonna do this because I'm a selfish dick. It's great. Really? You're not gonna tell me that. How would he be too big for that? Like, a shirt's pretty long. In, like, the sleeves and all. So that makes... Well, actually, I'm gonna think about it. Yeah, he would be. That wouldn't work. No, and I'm also pretty long, so, no. I can imagine that not working, now that I think about it. It's still kind of weird that, like, the Remy good ending involves the tiny dragon. Like, why is this ending so long? Is the question. Like, when you think about it, his ending could be compressed a bit. Like, you just pass out at this point, and that's all that matters. Remy could do the whole recap. Like, it would work more. Because then you could omit all these funky details where it's like, well, everything just went to shit. God, why do I not know the word for folding? How did Izumi escape? Odds are, actually, I can imagine this happening. Like, they're doing a lot of back and forth, like, bringing materials in. It's entirely likely that Izumi just went through the portal, either with Remy or, like, behind someone. I wouldn't be too surprised if, like, Remy was like, oh, you're coming with? And she's like, yep. And he was like, he didn't think anything of it. Why? I'm gonna have so many stern words to say about this. Also, your wound is not gonna be bleeding forever. Especially with a bullet wound. The internal bleeding is gonna suck. But you'll be surprised how good your blood... Actually, I've never had a bullet wound, so I don't know how long bullet wounds tend to bleed. They might actually bleed longer, since a bullet wound is generally quite big, and your natural healing factor doesn't work that well on larger wounds. It also is meant more for cuts. I think. Yeah, cuts are generally more easy to handle, since it's a low surface area, whereas a straight-up bullet wound is pretty big, and your veins are meant to clot themselves, not a complete wound. Well, the problem I have with this, though, is why is Remy having this conversation at all? Like, I understand that Remy's a big old fucking sad sack who's like, I wanna die! But it feels kind of weird that he's getting aggressive over it. Wouldn't he be more melodramatic? Because he's been melodramatic all the way through. It's kind of weird to just have him be like this. I don't know. I'm just confused. But that's it for today. I just don't feel it. I just don't feel it. It's impressive that Remy just gets over this as easy as he does. Again, I just don't know what to think of this. It's such a... Look at how long this ending is! It's huge! Oh, that's neat! That's actually pretty clever. Include Adine as a hint. Did they? No, it's... wow, Emera. I guess Emera makes sense. Vara. Oh, Vara's the hint, isn't she? That's a good one. Then CG1? What the hell is CG1 again? Alright, that's... Listen, man, there's a lot of artwork of Remy you could use, but don't use this one! His face looks kind of bad! Alone. Aw, man. But isn't Izumi still there, or do you and Izumi both leave? What happens in the good ending, anyway? Oh, wow. Well, that's interesting. Oh, they were named differently. That's all there's going on here. Wah, wah. Wow! They just cut out an entire situation here. Where apparently Maverick's still alive and just kind of messes him up. That's interesting. I guess originally there was something else going on, like Vara wasn't... I don't know. But this is very unusual for Maverick to just show up and slam dunk Reza again. Considering he's been shot in the head. I wanted to believe a lot, but... Oh yeah, now it's Izumi who just pile drives him. Also, why is the portal placed on a hill? I mean, I guess it keeps it warm and dry, but it's also kind of exposed. Considering there's woods nearby. At least, like, put it on a hill where there's some trees. A flurry of fists. So, let me get this one thing straight. There's a point where Izumi is like, don't do this thing, because you're going to waste energy that we don't have. And somehow they're able to send this back. I'd like to point out that Izumi says, we need all the power we can get, blah 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 bloop. We can't send humanity a fucking email. Again, Izumi says you can't send an email back. You can't send a letter. But they can send all the PDAs back? And be fine? Ugh. Oh, yeah, now I remember. It's like, you're standing at the boulevard. Yay! And then Remy's like, hey, the situation's kind of fucked. Really? remember that every single one of the human endings like has this point where it's like, and humanity just fucking got owned. I guess we'll get to that later. I guess it could be worse. But yeah. Good ending starts here. Great. I don't want to do Remy's ending, because this is a lot of beef, and it doesn't do much. And also kind of weird that this is here, instead of, we are hitting on weird things. I'm also burping. This ending is such a mess, though. Like, say what you, it's not a great ending, but what gets me about it is actually, it's got a lot of punch in it. Like, it's got a lot more going on that's somewhat interesting. Which makes it so angry. Eh!